We're leaving Greenville, North Carolina right now, headed towards Winston-Salem to pick up the bus and hopefully tomorrow morning drive it back to Williamston where I live. And so yeah, I've checked everything I can check, so.
Bye. Y'all be careful.
Well, here we are, here with Dad to pick it up and drive it home, I hope. What do you think? Yeah, that's what I said. All right, y'all, this is going to be another quick one. So basically, me and Dad got there. We did a quick once-over of the bus. I jumped up on the roof to make sure that nothing was going to blow off. Checked out the CB antenna there. It was leaning a little bit, but I figured she'd hold for the trip. So the original plan was just to get everything cleaned up and ready to go and then head out super early the next morning because it was kind of hard to back out of this driveway. But we kind of just decided to go for it and try to take it to go get some diesel fuel and see how we felt after that. So basically, we drove it around a little bit. We went and got some diesel fuel. And we talked about it at this gas station right here and decided we were just going to go for it and take it back to the hotel, and that's exactly what we did. Getting some diesel. It's going to take a while. I think I'm going to put 100 gallons in. Yeah. So after an interesting first drive of this thing through the middle of Winston-Salem, I managed to make it back to the hotel and ended up having to put it at an angle like this and actually let it roll back against the curb because the e-brake just wasn't working at all, which you'll find out if you keep watching exactly why that was. But I basically had no emergency brake at all. So it's just kind of bumped up against the curb there and letting gravity just kind of hold it in place overnight before we went to bed for the night. We're just kind of walking around, taking a look at things and discussing our plan of attack for the next morning when we would take this thing home. So while we're looking at a couple pictures, I figure I'll tell you a funny story about the nickname Not Bus that this thing has gotten. And the way that happened is Dad and I were in there eating dinner, talking to the bartender in the hotel, and I was explaining to her that what I refer to as a bus is really not a bus. It's a custom-built Class A motorhome made by Newell. And that back then, there was a lot of companies that were redoing actual buses made by like Bluebird or Prevost or whatever, and they were actually bus conversions, but Newell was a little different because they built their own chassis and they actually made a custom RV from the ground up. So it's actually not a bus, even though I refer to it as a bus. And so she came up with the idea that I should just call it the Not Bus. So that's where, if you hear us talk about the Not Bus, that's where that came from. All right, here we go. Got it airing up, running, fixing to leave Winston-Salem and see if we can get this thing home. Dad's gonna chase me in the van, and hopefully it all works out good. It did good coming up over here yesterday, so homeward bound. So there it is, sitting in the driveway. We managed to make it home safely. It was rather uneventful. I did have to stop and tape up one of my engine bay doors. The latch wasn't working too good, so it came open on us. That was kind of fun because the place I decided to pull off, it was very difficult to get back on the highway, and I was driving the bus through neighborhoods and all kinds of stuff. But we managed to make it back, and we drove it pretty much straight through. And so I really appreciate Dad riding with me and helping me get this thing home. I couldn't have done it without him. And everybody else that's helped me along the way get this thing home, I really appreciate it. And looking forward to putting out some more videos and getting this thing done. So thanks for watching.